I think regardless of whether Scope 3 disclosures are off the table or included, it will still be a lot of work for the SEC reporting teams and the financial reporting teams, both in-house at REITs as well as for outside counsel to deal with.
Joining me today is Anna Pinedo, partner and co-head of the capital markets practice with Mayer Brown. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
Now, Nareit members strongly supported the SEC's 2020 rule that increased the ownership thresholds required for submitting a shareholder proposal and the voting thresholds necessary to permit a failed proposal to be presented to shareholders in a subsequent year. Now, last year, the SEC proposed changes, which Nareit opposed in a comment, which undermined the effect of the 2020 rule. What is the current state of play on this issue, and what can REITs expect?
I think this has been a very challenging year in terms of shareholder proposals. So we've seen quite a number of shareholder proposals this year. In particular, many clients are dealing with shareholder proposals this year that bring to the forefront ESG issues. Some of our REIT clients are dealing with those. We're seeing an increasing number of shareholder proposals generally this proxy season. So I think that it's going to be a difficult issue for REITs and for companies generally this proxy season, as well as for proxy seasons going forward.
And what do you predict will be the most consequential regulatory change for REITs in 2023?
Well, I think we're all bracing ourselves for the climate change disclosure rules. I think we're anticipating that those will hit at some point late April, maybe May. Chair Carrie Gensler has said that Scope 3 disclosures may now be off the table, although it's difficult to anticipate from his somewhat vague comments what we really should be looking for in the final rules. And I think regardless of whether Scope 3 disclosures are off the table or included, it will still be a lot of work for the SEC reporting teams and the financial reporting teams, both in-house at REITs as well as for outside counsel to deal with.
And finally, how well do you think REITs are doing on corporate governance generally compared to other industries?
I think REITs are doing quite well in terms of best practices as far as corporate governance. REITs for a very long time have adhered to independent boards, have had very high standards in large measure because REITs have institutional holdings, and a lot of institutional stockholders have very rigorous demands of their portfolio companies, and so REITs have upheld those high standards. So I don't think we've seen any really troublesome issues emerge from the REIT community.